Sup, everybody? It's D's Roy. Got another reaction. I'm about to watch Fresh and Fit, but this time, I'm about to watch Patrick. Patrick and them right there inside the other podcast I'll be watching too, and they're gonna talk about Donald Trump and all his stuff. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be like 4 or 5 minutes, so it's gonna be a short clip. So let's see what they're saying, man. Now I'm gonna start about real quick. Now, people was talking about so much stuff about Donald Trump, from the last like 6, 8 years, whatever it is, man. It's been like a little while ever since he's trying to be the president, then as the president, and now the year after. But I would say the first year after he wasn't the president. But now there's so many people that switch it now, because I feel like everything kind of like it's different now, man. So let's see what they're saying now, anyways, and then we'll talk more and more. All right, ready, set, go.
And we've seen CNN take an epic L. I was going to ask you guys about the Trump town hall. Actually, what were your thoughts on that?
I think he crushed it. I mean, if you think about it, he got exactly what he wanted. Whether you liked him or not, every time he said something, the audience was clapping. We're like, wait, what? And then she kept getting more and more and more irritated. And then he kept getting more and more and more cool. And there was like, you know how you do a 2-hour podcast and you're like, man, we got only 3 short clips out of this one.
Yeah.
And then you'll do a 1-hour podcast and you're like, dude, we got 9 short clips out of this one. You know how many short clips Trump got from that town hall in 60 minutes?
Yeah.
40, 30. It's like, well, what would you do? How come you didn't do that? Well, because I'm not the president. Okay, because I'm not the president. Hey, so you know what? Let me take these tweets out. These are all moments that go viral. I think it was a hit for him. Now the question is going to come up with him and DeSantis of them trolling DeSantis over and over.
When he been doing the last like month and whatever, he's back talking, and man, they're trying to talk about his stuff from what, like the January 6th or whatever it was, something like that, when they went over there to Washington D.C. and he just cooked that stuff, talking about that stuff like, oh, it's your fault, look what you did. And he just cooked them and some other stuff. He's too damn freaking smart, man. And then he don't talk like, oh yeah, well, something. He's like, if you don't like it, then it was hella funny.
Over and over and over and over. Is that going to be the right strategy with DeSantis, who is liked and respected? I don't know. It's different when you're trolling somebody on the opposite side that is not liked and respected. You can do that all day long. Like Hillary Clinton wasn't liked or wasn't respected. So people love that stuff.
Yeah.
But if you do that model with a DeSantis who is respected in Florida, we're going to find out in the next 6 or 9 months if that's going to work or not. But it's already started to be a very competitive, ugly fight. And I think by the time it's over with, whoever ends up winning primary, they're already going to have so many other clips that Democrats going to be using for the general election. It's going to be wild. But I think,
when you think about when everything happened, when you ask people when they're trying to choose the Democrat, and people wasn't going for Joe Biden first. They're talking about, what's his name? I forgot the other guy. But then he dropped out the last second. And then everybody's like, oh, I don't like Joe Biden. And then after, when he's the only person right there for a Democrat, people just start jumping on him like, oh, well, I just don't like Donald Trump. And it's like, well, it's not the right way to do it if you don't even know it's all politics and whatever he does. And have you guys what he been doing for the last 40, whatever he been doing, 40, 50 years or whatever? It's been a long time. I think 40 years. What had he did? Like anything. He did some shady stuff his whole year. And people didn't know until when they start coming out. They're like, damn, I can't believe I even believe that guy. Like, dude can't even talk half the time, man. when he be talking like, like y'all crazy.
For somebody that enjoys competition, this is going to be very competitive.
So let's
I mean,
see.
you think the Democrats stand a chance? I think that no matter what, like the next president's going to be a Republican.
You
There's
can
no way.
never underestimate. So that's the problem I think that Republicans have is they look, for me in business, my mother's personality and my dad's personality. We're talking about it today in the house. You know the mindset of establishment and anti-establishment. Okay.
Yeah.
The personality of a Republican, a true Republican, maybe a capitalist and a communist. Okay. That's probably a better example. So the establishment's mindset is who? They want to know everything you're doing. The establishment is that girl you date that's like, where were you at? Who was up? Who's calling you? Why is that a call from a block number? Why didn't you answer it? Respond back to that text. What was that call about? That's the establishment. They want to know everything about what you're doing. So you're like so freaking annoying, right? The anti-establishment girl you date is like, hey, babe, I got to step out and take this call. Oh, okay. It's probably his brother. It's fine. Hey, babe, I got to go to the store to get something. I'll be back. Okay, no problem. Go for it. Do your thing. The establishment girl's going to be like, why do you have to go see somebody at 10:30? Are you going to go see a girl? FaceTime me. Where are you? So they're so hovering over you. So the Republican side, the conservative side, is not overly paranoid.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
The left is so overly paranoid and willing to get deceptive and dark. The right's not willing to do that at their levels. Again, this is purely anti-establishment and establishment. So I think only the paranoid survive. We'll see how paranoid Republicans will be on this one. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
I think
That's a good take.
That town hall, it was funny because it made Trump look good, right? And then it's funny too because he had just lost that civil suit with that woman for the sexual assault / grape or whatever, allegedly. Which I actually went and read through that legal document. It's written not even like a legal document; it's written like a book. It's hilarious. It's like literally written like, on this day, Trump met her at this store and he sexually assaulted her. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I heard about that too, and I was like, all right, well, let me see that. I was trying to find it, and I can't really find it. You know, people say that kind of stuff. Oh, some. It's like, man, here we go. It's like another one. I'm gonna lie. Like years ago, I was talking to somebody too. People just freaking say some fake stuff all the time, and it's irritating. It's irritating when you have a conversation. It's like, dude, I can't hang out with you, somebody like that, because you're not honest. You just all some boo all the time. Like I was with somebody who's talking about he's racist, and I'm like, how is he racist? And he got, oh, you're a supporter. I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm just asking, how is he racist? This is like a couple years ago, and then he was like, he couldn't find anything inside the internet. And he was over there for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, here we go. All right, so you can't find it. And then he finds something from his daughter. I remember it was like a clip. He was saying his daughter is like gorgeous son. It's like a little, like a couple years ago, like 3 years ago, maybe 4, 3.5, 4. Then he would say something. He was like, well, he want to F his daughter, you know. I'm like, dude, did you watch the whole clip? That's like a freaking 5-second clip. You didn't watch the whole thing when he did that. No. And I'm like, dude, then how are you going to have your opinion when you don't even know the whole thing about it? What's the matter with you, man? Dude.
Is this a legal document? Like whatever. And I read it on air a couple weeks ago. And, after looking at like hundreds of legal documents, I was like amazed that this thing actually made it through.
It's like when I go right there, it's like when I'm like 20, 21, I was in the bar and it was packed. It's like a Tuesday. It's like $5 for a picture. It's a while ago though. $5 for a picture, you can't get mad, you know what I'm saying? So slide through, and I accidentally bumped the girl. She's kind of bigger though, and when she bumped me, I came over and I actually, because it was packed. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. I'm sorry, my bad. And she looked at me with crazy eyes and shit. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So like an hour later, I walked over there, and then it got more packed. I walked to the girl I was with right now at the time. It was my date. She wanted to go over there to get something inside my car. And it's like the first in the parking lot, the first one from the bar. And so when I was walking out and stuff, and somebody like touched my head, but like he didn't slap it hard, but touch it. Then she was like, oh, he did slap my head, but it wasn't hard though. I thought it was like my cousin or someone I was with, because I had about 6 people deep. So I thought it was something like that, and I looked, and it was that girl. She's overweight and stuff. She was fat, to be honest. You're supposed to say apologize or some shit. I'm like, man, Then we start arguing. I'm like, don't ever put your hands on me again. What the hell with you? You know what I'm saying? I was going crazy. I wasn't going crazy. I was just telling her, and she got very emotional. Like, just don't touch me. And then they break it off. I'm like in the front. They left her from the back, and then I'm chilling. And then I went over to my car to go get something from the girl. Two guys came over there and was like, "Hey, you did the right thing. I thought you were gonna punch her." I'm like, "Yeah, but I ain't gonna punch her like that. I mean, if she, you know what I'm saying?" He's like, "I understand." And then the owner kicked me out just because he's like, "Oh, you can't come back," because you have like a little incident. I'm like, "Dude, I didn't even do nothing. I was just there." So I was like arguing with this dude. I'm like, "What the heck? I just got like two pictures, blah blah blah." And then there's a little heating and stuff. I'm like, whatever. Then hella people start going out from the bar, and they're like, and then everybody starts saying like, "Oh, that guy just trying to fight a girl," and then everybody's like people trying to do something with me. I'm like, man, guys, wish y'all, but nobody did do nothing. But I'm just saying, just like rumors happens. That's not cool. Like people wasn't there. What happened? The girl slapped me. Like lucky I didn't, but I didn't. So that's why when I'm talking about like this kind of stuff for Trump, a lot of stuff. People don't have the whole stories. They just have little clips. And that's just irritating to me because I think about multiple times what happens with me.
Through as an actual complaint for a lawsuit, and they found in her favor. And I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Exactly.
But
See, like
he
this.
got indicted by the state of New York, right, for falsifying business records. He got found liable, right, which everyone says, you got found guilty, which being found liable and guilty are two different things for the morons out there in a civil case. And he's still been going up in the polls. So it's like they're trying everything in their power to make him look bad, put him in jail, but it's not working.
Do you remember when the UFC fight, right? Trump walked in.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting to see the response.
Yeah, nobody
do
nothing.
Gonna react to him, right? Because of the whole indictment, all that stuff. And people loved him, bro.
Like
everybody was like clapping. It looked like on the UFC stuff. I'm not right there just like the live.
If you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here.
Because he's not a regular guy come over there just like, he just come over and he's bland. He say whatever he wants. And most of them is like some real stuff, man. So, I mean, hey, we might need it again into our country again, man, because it's been kind of bunk for the last couple years. All that kind of stuff, man. But I don't know. Let's see. I gotta look more, do research these last. But we got like 2 more years. So but I just know gas went crazy. You seen all groceries, all that stuff came up. You goes from this and this, and everything just came up, man. And then you have, I don't know, it's just been like freaking, like I'll be honest though, I've been right here where I live. I would say the last 2 years, I see the most homeless people, and like right there on the freeway, and it's like a good neighborhood. But now they have campings right on the freeway, a lot now. I'm like, damn, bro, why the most homeless I've seen? I mean, we always have homeless, but it's like a good neighborhood too. I'm like, man, what the freaking F? And then people's like, oh, well, you gotta watch yourself. I'm like, dude, have you ever hang out? You know some people that does some drugs? All them dudes on drugs, man. Like they're delusional all the time. They be doing some stuff. It's like happened just a couple days ago. There's a homeless guy. I guess he was on a tweak or something like that. But he was a homeless guy. But he had a gun. He was walking around not that far from where I live. And the cop shot him, killed him though. But I'm saying, like, come on, man. You guys are gonna. That's why all this kind of stuff. I just don't see why people don't look the whole thing. And before I didn't really see the stuff what was happening that kind of way. You know, when Trump and stuff. Yes, there's always problems. There was problems, but let's see, man. Hopefully, whatever it is, if it's not him, if somebody else, I hope he does the right thing. Like, just make the country back where it was, and because it's just always bunk right now, man. And to me, my opinion. But all right, man. Like, subscribe, show love, and hit me on the comments, man. All right, like.